Hello, everybody. I just wish you guys could have been in on the convo that was going on between us two, because I can assure you it was far freaking out. That's all I can tell you. We'll probably get in a little bit more of this. And so, as I get everything going and I see that coming online, there we are, folks. There y'all two beautiful ladies are, and here I am, and now the bus is pulling out because we're going to
Yay.
go to Party Town. We're not staking around. This is crazy town. We want to get on the other side of the tracks. So welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this journey. If you're here, you have fulfilled your destiny thus far. So way to go. Give yourself a high five. Give yourself a pat. This is a second look, and we say favor over us all. That's how we speak it. And as well as that, love is the answer. You know,
Mhm.
now I'm hearing, England Dan and John Forth, love is the answer. But anyway, we say nothing missing, nothing broken, and be of service to others. So, second look here, both of my two beautiful co-hosts. Miss Trina, how are you, my dear?
I'm better when I'm in front of you and Jenny.
And speaking of which, Jenny, how are you, sweetie?
I'm good. I'm good. Coming out of another Theo escapade, but we're all good. We're
Mhm.
all happy.
Excellent.
Yay.
It's
He's
it's
recovered.
quite interesting. I was telling my wife this morning. I woke up and I feel like I'm existing in this it's a very groovy feeling. I mean, it is just it's like smooth and it's easy. I
Like
mean,
your own little reality bubble, huh?
yeah, there is such a supernatural calmness. I woke up with it this morning.
Yes.
But the
Yeah.
interesting thing was my wife was telling me I was fighting in my sleep. So I guess I won. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
got the
Sounds
victory,
like you
baby.
did. Yeah, sounds like you did.
You
Yeah.
know, just got a groovy
Mhm.
feeling. I've been playing music, just kind of just wow, it's kind of like the Fabulous Freak Brothers on Phineas, man. I'm just laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get
I get
high.
You know
Jeez.
what's so funny? About 4 o'clock this morning, I was focusing on because the chaos can be potentially not good today,
It's not
especially.
good. Yeah.
So that was what I did at 4 o'clock this morning. I woke up and I was anchoring peace and literally layering it all over the planet, all over the people, being like, calm down, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna be good through this. Everything's gonna be good. Let's find a peace that surpasses all understanding, all rational understanding. We don't know why. We just feel it. And that was so it's funny. So thank you for the confirmation, Wayne, because maybe
Far
that's just a
out.
sign saying every little bit we do is really helping. So
I
keep
think it
on keeping
is.
on. I do too.
You
Yeah.
know, Yesterday's show, we're getting into what a mystic is and what a mystic does
Mhm.
and the thing, and to realize that when you hang around a group of mystics and in all levels, um, you, I guess for me, it was a moment of extreme gratitude and thanksgiving because that's pretty far out. And I think that that will be an extension of when we all cross across the veil. I think we're going to pick up right where we are, the ones that have left us. And I thought just very quickly, the ladies over there on Andromeda Seven's channel, I thought they just gave it was a very well celebration of
It really
Dalbar's
is.
life. So,
Yeah, down the
yeah,
bar. That was beautiful. And thank you, Andromeda 7 Celestial Gateway. We appreciate you.
yeah, absolutely. They're all part of this. And, again, it just shows the diversity and how fortunate we all are, folks. I mean, if you're listening to this, I mean, you're a part of something that I just don't see out there on other channels. But, of course, I'm biased in my thinking.
Yeah.
No, I'll admit it.
I think it's true though, Wayne. If there's just something unique about this group. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tight group.
What's that, Jenny?
it's a tight group, you know,
It
people
is.
do different lives and go off and do, but when anybody sort of needs people to tap in, it's a good group for that. People tap in, you know, without question, to tap into energy, support, healing. I've noticed that everybody's real quick to lend their gifts to whatever
Mm.
they feel led to.
Someone wrote a comment in yesterday's video. Go and check it out. And it humbled me. You know, there's the gentleman who's been following me since, Steve Olson days. That goes back a while.
Yeah.
And he said that, he said there's many voices out there on YouTube doing it channels, but he said yours has been consistent. It's just love, peace, unity. So thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says every time I hear your voice, he says there's a peacefulness. So far out.
That is far out, and
Yeah, it
that's
is.
beautiful.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
look at this group, everyone in the chat room, much love to y'all. Um, y'all, it's really y- y'all are the ones that bring this forth. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
They're the glue.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
as the Eagles would say, there's a peaceful, easy feeling. And I got the peaceful, easy feeling. And I know you won't let me down.
There's a long
So,
way.
Trampus says, I've been watching since Steve Olson too. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
nice.
Yeah, appreciate
We've
that.
been
Very
together a
kind.
while now. It's been
Yeah.
quite a journey. Yeah,
Most people don't have the same job for 10 years.
right,
And
right.
if you're raising children, in 10 years how you can suddenly have this beautiful little child that suddenly turns into, you don't know where the hell they came from, but it ain't your kid,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
But I mean, that's what 10 years will do.
And
And
they even smell different.
they do.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So 10 years, you think about that, depending on what your age is, for some people, it's like 1/6 of their lives, 1/8. I mean, 1/3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you
I
all.
always think Theo's a good gauge because I remember doing readings with him in my arms as a baby,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
wake up all hours. And then
Mhm.
he's been around here since he was a toddler, really.
Yes.
So, seeing he reads the names in the chat, and if he can get in quick enough, tries to write something while I've walked away from it and it's still open. He's done that a few times to send his own message saying it's
Oh,
Theo. And he couldn't even write, when
Yeah.
he was first introduced to the people here at the channel, and people
mhm.
know him.
Yeah.
They
Um,
do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Theo just had this and still does has this beautiful aura and energy,
Mhm.
and gets it from mama. So, I mean, Jenny, well done.
Yeah.
You've given the world a special gift. I mean, how far out is
yeah,
that?
Yeah.
he's so far out the things he says.
Mhm.
He's just joy. He just makes you laugh. He really does. And he's so in sync with the space that he needs to be in right now. He's just
So
So
beautiful.
how are the kids?
great. Rosie's doing great. Will is he's just been to Newcastle University today because he got chosen out of just out of a few thousand students, just 20 got chosen to go and spend the day, do an experiment, and then be invited back.
Fantastic.
So he's been hanging out with bioscientists, engineers, and eco engineers today, and Russian translators. He's been, and he rocked it. He doesn't like change jumped on him when he's on that spectrum. Um, but he was all discombobulated this morning because of that change in routine. But he did it without argument, and he's really come home, rocking it, enlightened, feeling he spoke to them in his own right. So I'm so proud of him today. And then Theo's had a concussion, and he's still just been a joy. He's doing great. Not
Mm.
loving school, it must be said. He's been very clear about that. Um, he's picturing a matrix right now where he can meet with all of his friends for all of the day without anything else to do with the school. So he's
Right.
trying to create that reality. And I believe him. I believe
Yeah.
him that more forest schools will open up, but he's just joy. He makes everything light, you know.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
Um, new doors opening. I mean, that's the great thing when you can watch the youth. William, as
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, I just had this sense in my spirit that I could see that there has been a door opened for him that he wasn't even aware of. And now that he had the courage, thank you, Mom, that he took that step. And it's the small inflection points in one's lives that you don't realize that suddenly doors were open and new paths were presented.
Yeah. And when he gets on that path, he rocks it. He just doubts so much
Only way to do it.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has this battle within himself, and it's like, son, can you tell me one thing you haven't like really rocked, and you've given it a chance? And he
Mhm.
can't, but at the same time, he does not see that brilliance, and that's sort of beautiful and a challenge. But then when he walks through at that door that you're talking about, Wayne, the boy's got just such good relationships with his teachers, with
Yeah.
his peers, with strangers today that are professors, and yeah, he doesn't see how brilliant he is. But I think that's all part of the youth. There's a lot of youth like that right now where they really don't comprehend the brilliance and
Yeah.
the difference that they make.
So last
Yeah,
Monday, ladies, I had this most profound dream with the three of us. It was very interesting. Um, and I'm beginning to see some things here because, many times, and I think this was more than a dream, I think it was almost a vision. Um, because sometimes for myself, I have visions that are not dreams, but the dreams appear to be the visions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm standing out on this vista. Actually, it was floating, to be candid. And I'm standing here. So I see you, Jenny, and you're over here, and you are sitting in the midst of all these herbs. They're just growing around you, and you're picking them and you're putting them in. It wasn't a sack. It was very interesting what you were putting them into this container. And you,
I've
Trina,
made my
huh?
I've made my own basket. That's what you're
Okay, I
seeing.
think that's may have been what it was. And Trina, you were standing over there off to what would be Jenny's left, but my right. And you, of all things, you were on this ledge. Now, remember, we're not on the ground. It's like gravity doesn't have any effect, but we're in the spatial the visual that I was seeing. And you, Trina, you may find this amusing, but you were in this kind of silver gold type of dress. It wasn't a dress, it was more of armor than it was anything else. And you had that freaking sword that you showed me. But this sword you were holding up. Now, when you were holding this sword, I looked off into the right, and the whole firmament, the whole heavens, suddenly there were thousands and thousands of doors.
Oh,
Mhm.
And the doors we would look at them, the three of us, and there would be a door that would open.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, and it
That's
as you can
awesome.
see, it's still very firm in my consciousness because and it only lasted, I felt it only lasted for like, 3 or 4 minutes, but
Wow.
it was longer within that because, and none of us said a word to each other.
Mm-hmm.
None of us said a word.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there you go for what it was worth. Last
That
week the
is
energy was so negative that we pushed this off, and I'm glad we did because it's a complete 180. But anyway, there you go, ladies.
wow. I just saw that they're like put it together through the nature elements. You will connect and enter the portals and the doors of the higher realms, and you will merge them. And you were the anchor of the merging, and I was opening the doors, and Jenny was invoking the elemental powers. That's what I just saw.
That's
Interesting.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Trina.
What about you, Jen?
Like, well, when you described Trina's sword, it spoke to me as being the living word that she was holding. Um, swords, words, thoughts,
Yeah.
intellect, and she was channeling them into a key, that was able to open doors with the frequencies and understandings of the living word. I was transplanting the living process to that, the cellulose that creates the bridge to that. And you were anchoring in like a circuit board, Wayne, bridging these two powerful energies and
Realm
anchoring.
Bridger. Realm Bridger.
So, yeah, realm bridger, from the
Wayne,
physical.
its origins is wagon builder.
Ah, there you go.
You know,
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
spokes of the wheel. We are in the wheel of the zodiac. The wheel.
and I'm
Yeah.
driving the team. Holy
That's what
fuck!
you
What the
do.
heck?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no. But it was very profound. And Jenny, and both of y'all, you know, they say that when you dream, the faces that you see, you never see a stranger. There's either a face or it's been a combination. But with you two, it was so freaking, it was real. I mean, I could even
Mhm.
tell you, Jenny, it was real interesting because you were wearing this blouse, and you were sitting, and it was like you had a skirt, but the skirt, it was interesting because the skirt was almost like the grass. I mean, that
Part of
what
the
you were
earth.
sitting in. Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's
very
what I was saying.
interesting.
Part of the
And
earth.
you just looked up, and it was like we didn't say a word, but it was almost like we all
Mhm.
kind of knew there's still a mystery here because you had this look, Jenny. It was this smile, and Trina, to be candid with you, you reminded me of Russell Crowe in Gladiator. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
that
I
was the
am
kind of
I
vibe I got.
Message,
I've been through
message.
it, I think, a lot of times, Wayne. I think it's like part of me now because I've been called into some really crazy battles in our past, I think. I really do.
Well, you had this freaking sword, and I don't know if it's the exact one, but I could almost draw it out for you because it was
Amazing.
you initially had it sitting like this and you were holding it, and then you picked this son of a bitch up, and I mean,
Mhm.
you started to swing it, and that's when my gaze went off, and that's when I saw, and these doors, they came in, they weren't there initially, they just started showing up, and they
Yeah.
just continued to multiply. And it was just interesting. We looked at this
All
one
potentials.
particularly, and the door opened, and that's when
Wow.
I came back to this realm.
That's amazing. That's
So,
it's, remember I've told you so many times when I work to do healings on the planet and stuff, I use the sword. It's what I use to heal
and that's interesting because,
and open
Jenny, that's
doors.
what I saw with you was healing. It was the
Mhm.
the the nature of the herbs, and
Yeah.
yeah. The only thing lacking would have been the little squirrel and Bambi. I mean, it
We'll
would
bring
have
them
been a
next time.
perfectly scenario, but they weren't there.
I
It was
want
just
Pegasus.
you.
Let's
You
bring
know?
in a dragon, Pegasus, and the unicorn too. We need those.
But it was just such a very It was very profound. I mean, and in the midst of last Monday, because that's when the peak of this battle was taking place, I know for myself.
That was
And I
Mm,
good.
look at
Yeah.
back this and I am almost, and it's amazing because the Rhema of that vision is coming too, because now I'm starting to get it. We were actually, the three of us were doing battle already. Each of us had a part in the perfect triad
yeah.
of this. It's very interesting. Each of us had an aspect. Wow, that's quite interesting. It was kind of tells me something. Hmm.
Yes. Triangle
Playing
of
Hmm.
roles.
protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
And if you think about it, it's the definition of the esoteric, mesoteric, and exoteric, isn't it? In that
Yeah.
you're anchoring in the middle, able to communicate both languages, channel them into something that both sets, roles, queens, whatever can take place with, and then able to bridge the translation of the two
Yes.
over. So it's a double bridge. And if you think about that, it's the definition of the roles of the esoteric, mesoteric, and exoteric, and vice versa. Like that pendulum of that trinity, that three, that binds these different realms of existence into an experience that we have here. It's really powerful. It's blown me away, actually. I really like it. And you've
I do too.
described a lot of what I've been doing,
Yeah.
exactly like at the grounding. I've gone overboard on it since Theo, got hurt at school, and just the energies around. It's that, and I think sometimes that's where that duality comes in of don't fear the chaos, be like the billionaires, in that embrace it, because that duality, it's sort of for those who are capable or have done the work or know the tactics to ground through it, that chaos can actually be that flip point of peace that surpasses all inner
Yes.
standing or understanding, and it's at that
Yes.
point we think, you know what, it's already as bad as it can get, let's play. And we can play in those roles while battling, like with one hand, we're like a pirate, battling with one hand and holding these roles with the other. It's yeah, that's powerful, Wayne. I keep
Yeah.
seeing more and more
Wayne,
layers of it.
the dream too, it's the representation of what you were speaking of yesterday. It's the mystic. And it's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
power of that, and the power of when you work in unity and you see the beautiful thing of it. Jenny's doing it one way, I'm doing it a different way, and you're doing it another way, and we're all looking at each other with such respect and adoration, and know that we're all doing our part and that we're doing a good job. That's how we change this world.
Plus,
It's
yeah,
this is what does it. When we're
Hmm.
consciously aware of our higher aspects of self and anchoring those thoughts and that power into this physical world. This is what we came here to do.
Quite interesting that as I'm looking at this, that it again, it wasn't a dream, it was a vision. I mean, and I know the difference between the two, but it's just so
Mhm.
interesting. Um, the whole situation is, as we're talking here, it's really kind of opening up a whole lot because, as you were saying, a mystic is one who does the work on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah. And this came from the inside. And as I'm looking at it now, it tells me we're on to something here because
Yeah.
here's the two of us, the three of us. And as I look on it, it was, this outside force, which was a very
Mhm.
oppressive.
Mhm.
There's three stages to possession. You have oppression, depression, and then possession.
Yeah.
And we were being oppressed upon.
Mhm.
Wow, and I think about it, and Jenny, the perfect symbol of nature within itself is what you do. You harvest that. You
Yes.
harvest that healing, the attributes of what Mother Goddess has always intended us to be, until the demiurge came in and took over. And then Trina, you're just a bad motherfucker. That's all I got to say. A badass, in the realms. I mean, I'm just telling you, I wouldn't mess with you, you know. No, no, no. I'd say, hell no. I ain't going to do it. I'd rather be her friend than her freaking enemy. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I got in trouble a few times because
I bet
like
you have.
I
Yeah,
have. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Settle that power. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, my fire can be really brutal. So I've had to learn.
I ain't messing with that sword. Ain't no freaking way. It's like, no. But
Yeah.
the energies and, yeah, it's just
I
very
see it.
interesting.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in
Yeah.
there. But it's a beautiful thing when I am a fierce fighter for good and a
I've seen
fierce
Trina
protector.
before dragging that weapon along the ground, making a noise weapon.
Yes.
That
Could you imagine the
intimidating.
sound that would be? You could be asleep and hear that sound
It
and go,
was,
oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I was just like, she doesn't need any help, because
No,
I've seen that.
yeah,
You can imagine like a prison guard dragging something across the bars, to get right to the
Yep.
bottom of
yeah,
the row.
yeah.
I've seen that in a vision before, and I didn't even follow through with the vision any more than that because she didn't need any
It's like,
help,
here I
quite
come.
obvious. Yeah, it was just like, okay, I'll stay out the way. But I've heard that, I've seen
And
Yeah.
dragging.
I'm convinced that, the vision that was our astral projecting. It was the essence of the three of us that were there.
Yeah.
You know how
Well,
they
Now, here's
told
the
me I
funny
got,
part that I was wearing this hat that I would never be caught dead in the hat, but it was a very strange hat. It really was.
the
what was
magician's got
it?
to have.
It was very weird, and it like again, it was fluted, but it was also um had 2 points coming out, and it was just a weird hat. I don't know.
Oh, the antenna.
I
Interesting.
have no idea. I just remember that I knew this. It was like I was standing there. I
Oh,
wasn't naked, I was, but I had this hat on, and it was, pretty. It's one of those things that you don't think about at the moment, but later you go, well, what the hell was that? You know?
interesting. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I like it.
I mean,
Um,
I haven't even see this thing was so, and I told you ladies last week when we were emailing each other back and forth, but you know, it had something like that.
It is an antenna. Yeah.
yes, it's ancient
But these
technology is what I'm hearing. It's ancient technology. That's what they keep saying. It's the antenna. It's ancient
Related to
technology.
the ant, if you look at it, look, you know how ants, those big ants, their antennas
hmm,
actually cross and touch as they walk. Doesn't it
hmm,
look like ant
yeah,
antennas?
kind of like
Those, I
that.
don't
Yeah,
know which
Yeah.
ants they are, but
Anyway, I don't
that's
know.
neat.
that's
It's really
That's very
weird.
cool. Very cool.
Isn't it odd that, completely off track, but when you dream, you never dream of nakedness.
I've seen nakedness before in a dream.
Have you
I've
been naked?
seen people, I don't look at myself much in my dreams. I'm just out seeing out my
Isn't
eyes.
that
I don't get,
interesting? I was
yeah,
just
I
reading
don't
a
see
study
myself.
on this that
Yeah.
most people do not see themselves. They're
Mhm.
if they look, they have some sort of dress, something on. But anyway,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
don't
get
know.
I don't know. Um,
it.
But it's funny too. I've
because both
like,
of y'all
a
were
few-
completely clothed. I did not see y'all naked. I just want to let you know that you were both clothed. So.
a few times too, Wayne, I've wanted to know about a person's integrity. And the dream that was shown to me, if they had nothing to hide, was they would be standing in front of me in their underwear. And that's how I
Uh,
knew they had nothing
I,
to
I
hide.
like that.
Isn't
I
that
like
strange? But
that. Yeah.
I've had that happen a few times when I was like, I wonder if they're really authentic. They seem like they're authentic, but are they? And it would show me a dream of them just standing in their underwear. And I looked that up and there was like, that means they have nothing to hide. I was like, what a cool way to answer that, you know? But
I
yeah.
like that.
But it means thorough.
You
Very
know,
thorough.
was it Calvin Klein?
You know, Tidy
Back to the Future,
Whitey,
hon. I was
Boxer
just,
Shorts.
it's like Calvin.
Yeah, yeah,
Why are you
yeah. The
calling me
girls were.
Calvin? What? Because it's
Yeah,
written on your underwear.
that's right. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I
so
love that.
funny.
I never thought about that. It's
Yeah.
interesting. But anyway, uh, it tells me that this group in so many ways. I mean, we've been doing our little expeditions and we've been meeting with some great resistance on this. It was quite interesting to see, you
Yeah.
know, what was unfolding on there, and it's still interesting.
It
But in the
is.
midst of all that, the two of you and I are in this plane. That's what it was. It wasn't on Earth, it was a plane.
Yeah.
Because you, Trina, it was so interesting. You were on this ledge,
Uh-huh.
but the ledge was not black or anything. It actually had this gold
Yeah.
border on it. It was really weird.
Wow. That's cool.
Where Jenny's was, it looked like you
Earth.
were in this herb garden. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
could say. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
The only
awesome.
thing is, Jenny, though, you had dark hair.
Well, I can change at the drop of a hat. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
no,
that. I'm just
yeah.
saying, but
Just
you were much darker in shade. But Trina,
Yeah.
yeah.
there was nothing different about you. You had it was the look on your face that you would just there wouldn't be any entity or deity or any spirit that would want to jack with you. I mean,
Yeah. And
Landing.
yeah.
yeah, there isn't no negative force that's that stupid. You know?
Yeah. And you don't ever lose a fight if you never start it. And that's the one thing I've always learned too. I never initiate. But if they come against me, whoo, okay, game on.
All I know, I was glad that you were on our team.
I'm
That's all I
always on
know.
your team, Wayne. I'm always on your team.
Go team Wayne, go team Trina, go
That's
team
right.
Jenny. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got we I have to get us some jackets, with Team Trina, Jenny, and Wayne, because this is the A train.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The pyramid of power.
Definitely.
And then of course everyone that's out there that's listening to this, by association,
I've
you're all
seen
part of
so
that
many.
anyway.
Yeah, well, I've seen them. I've seen them. And I'm like, God, Wayne, you're serving tea. It was hilarious. I've seen the Soul Tribe. We have meeting
Serving
places.
tea, huh?
You were serving tea. Absolutely. It was hilarious. I was like, how appropriate. And it was interesting too, because it was in like an herb garden. It was a beautiful nature setting, and it had like trellises with vines all over it and tables where everybody could sit. And then people were standing in like this vista, just kind of like what you were, a grassy open vista. But then we had areas where we could sit and talk, and you were bringing tea, and it was very cool. And I saw so
Wow.
many of the Soul Tribe there. It was really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
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 So my spirit guide from back in my late teens in a meeting, well, I call it more of a school room setting. Anyway, I've tried to emulate this, that the best leaders are the best ones who serve others.
Yes. Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Well,
that tells me within this group, there are so many of us. I mean, there isn't one that I could not think that would not be of service to another.
Yes.
You know,
true.
There's a
when I,
bunch of great souls in here,
oh,
powerful,
yeah,
loving,
yeah,
wonderful souls. And a lot of them have been drugged through the mud, as we all have been, because you see the resistance when you shine light into places where they don't want it seen, because their power is in keeping this stuff hidden from us because they use our power to fulfill their wishes through making us see their story. So when we
Indeed.
start to get up and start getting into these higher places and creating, man, is that a threat? And it goes on the map in such a big way, and they send all the ones to try to stop at you. And remember I said we're going to be in for a little bit of a skirmish with this one. I knew straight away they would send some pretty powerful ones to try to infiltrate this. But like I said, you can handle anything. You really can. We
Do
can
you
handle
remember seeing
anything.
Alice in Wonderland with uh, the Johnny Depp was in the Mad
Yes.
Yeah,
Hatter?
Yes.
complete.
Sometimes I see our table that this group is like a setting in Alice in Wonderland.
What that Wayne,
'Cause-
I told you before when I saw us in the garden, it reminded me of Alice in Wonderland and the
See,
Mad
when you were,
Hatter.
and
It
yeah,
totally
and we didn't
did.
even talk about, but that's what I
No, and
was
it
seeing
just
in my head, you know?
totally like
That's,
everything could be upside down. We could make things move. It was like everything could turn wobbly and we could do anything. We were
and we
playing with our
enjoy that.
ability. Yeah, we were having
We
Yeah,
do.
fun.
Yeah.
Then you come out with
yeah.
tea, and I was like, well, this is even getting better.
And the tea. Oh man, there's a
Oh,
story behind that in my experience of past times. Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
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 Can make good brews. Poisonous, whatever.
Well,
But
Jenny, it's like the tea that you sent. It's again, tea is just not always what we consider tea to be.
Right.
oh
It can
Yeah.
no.
be medicinal. It can
It
be
can be
all kinds of fun
fun,
things.
it's just, it's all I gotta
Really
say.
cool. But the synchronicities are unreal in that, and we're talking about being on that plane there. There's no way we're not in a mirror effect
Connected.
direct in here too with everybody here because my friend brought round a load of Calvin Klein boxers for the boys yesterday, because her boys are bigger than mine and they're like new. They've hardly been, so she brings me hand-me-downs, so, and it works both ways in different ways. So she brought around in particular a pile of Calvin Klein boxer shorts for
That's insane.
boys. It's
That's
insane.
insane.
And then post that I put on because I was actually an hour early today. Bonnie can guarantee this because I knew I would need proof of that. So I was actually early today in the chat. So when I realized how early I was, I went to him, put a post up. And it was like, where have I been? And at the end of it, I was alluding to Alice in Wonderland, drop down the hole to go and check out this website of magical properties and spiritual guidance. And it's like I'm sitting here smiling at you both because they're not the only real, just random but cool synchronicities that I've thought of as you've been talking tonight. I just can't think of them now, but those two in particular, just in this little bit of conversation, it's just like, come on, really? That's cool.
There is a connection here. There is no doubt. And I got the sense that, Brian or Milky and many others on the other side are just laughing their asses off because they see it
Mm,
from a total different perspective and plane. And I'm sure that when we cross over, they're going to talk about this and they're going to say, you guys don't even realize what y'all were doing, you
You
know?
know what else I just got the other day? Remember that Florida hurricane after the one that hit North Carolina? Remember the
Mm-hmm.
Florida one was supposed to be worse than that one?
Mm-hmm.
And so many people focused on
Right now,
making that
this group
lesser.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked.
yeah.
So not only, I mean, can we suspect that these things are happening? We can validate it. I mean, it's the proof is literally there. We're changing the earth
It was
with our
7
focus.
days that when I asked everyone to start thinking about rain.
Yep,
And
and it rained.
holy crap, what the hell were you people thinking about? I
I
mean,
said
we've
rain
gotten
whenever.
7 inches of rain in 15 hours.
Yep.
Wow.
When we pray rain, we need to pray um gentle, appropriate, so we don't create the flood. We had a problem in
Yeah.
Scottsdale one year with experimenting with stuff like that and using little frequency, and it flooded Scottsdale. So be careful.
So everyone
It's
just
really,
think Wayne wins.
Yeah.
You see Mary wins, but I just want everyone to think Wayne wins. All right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
seriously, I'm not kidding on this. This group has such power.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Why
Max,
not?
I saw your comments. Max is going in for radiation treatment.
Okay.
So we just send you, listen,
Favor.
we just send you, the only thing I know to say in this situation, I just speak favor over you, Max. Favor
Absolutely.
is grace, and there are things that no one can actually see but you and you experience. But we're speaking favor over you that in any situation with the doctors, with your body,
Mm.
anything that you're involved, that you
Yeah.
come out on top. You are the head, not the tail. You always are above and not beneath. So
yeah.
we love you.
So it's so
And
Mhm.
yeah. But everyone, I want you to make a commitment. There you go, Steve. You got it. Thank you, brother. Said Wayne always wins. That works too. But I want to prove something here. So just think that.
Okay.
And Mary
okay.
wins. We love you, darling. I always love Mary is a beautiful, beautiful soul. So what were you saying, Jenny?
I don't know. It's gone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm reading the comments as I go too, and Mary does always win. No, what was I saying? It was something interesting. Um, being the bridge and filling in this gap of synchronicities, I just feel is it's blown me away sitting here. I've forgotten what I was talking about because I'm thinking of all the synchronicities. I'm seeing the power in the group, and already I was on a tangent of WW Wayne wins. So, and seeing it
Mhm.
in neon lights
That
is
is
what my mind.
WW, isn't it? I hadn't thought about that before.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
W.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just
a
saw
very
that,
magical symbol, the two W's that are put
very.
together.
Also them on
And
top of each other, slotted in.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've already won. Or whatever is named Wayne wins has already won. It's
Wow. And on the
with that.
side,
So
it's 2, 3. This is cool. There's so much. And
it
by the way,
also it's also 6 plus 6, which is 12, which is the Trinity, 3, full power.
wow.
on all
Hmm.
Yeah.
planes.
Wow. It's like, okay. And I saw Rick said that he's starting radiation treatment tomorrow. So Rick, just
Oh, where do you guys?
just join yourself there with Max, and our cup runneth over. It really does.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
Hmm.
does. I
Yes.
am
It,
so proud of this group. I tell you, it's at times when I think about it, I can actually start crying because, the uniqueness of being able in a virtual world, and because this is where we are, that we can actually, and Jenny, you said this before we went live. It's amazing how much the human spirit, the human body can endure, and what we can actually do. And to see now that it's becoming more evident that we're more active in these ethereal astral realms than what we realize, and as a group. I think there's certain
yeah,
individuals that have this symbioticness that has been there way before you two ever. But I'm seeing this, and as the group begins to merge, there's a connection between the three of us
Yes.
that
hmm
that
Hmm.
surpasses my understanding.
It
yeah,
doesn't mind.
absolutely.
It's through love and
Yeah,
trust and
yeah.
getting to know each other. Now, so I said, meeting the soul tribe when we physically meet, that's so powerful. But like Jenny, I've hugged you astrally so many times. I
Oh,
feel like I
I've
know
been in your bosom.
yeah, I feel like I know every ounce of you and your kids. And I've
Yeah,
never physically met any of you, but I know, I feel them. I feel them
yeah,
like they're
you
my
do.
own. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so it's just real. It's even Wayne, even Dancer, your dog. I could
Mm.
feel Dancer. I mean, it's just it's crazy, but it's real. These connections are powerful and they are formed through love, community, and unity.
and authenticity. There's so much
Yeah.
authenticity in the
Yeah.
roles, so much trust. And that comes in with you guys and the kids because I'm very protective, but there's absolute trust that they're open to your energies. I've got no holds barred or veils over them regarding the energies of this group, and in particular you too, which speaks of the same amount of trust that I give my mother. And that speaks infinite volumes, and Trina hit on something before, and my 420 brain has just remembered it now, being in this spiritual space of peace, is that to channel that power, to recognize how real it is, to recognize how tactile and present it is, to stop questioning it, but to stop questioning it so much that you actually learn that you have to actually channel it, like you were doing for us, Wayne, in the middle, in that I saw when you were talking about the floods, Trina, there's rhythm and different rhythms to create rain. And a lot of them are heel, gentle toe, heel, gentle toe. You're encouraging the worms to come up, and you're pulling the rain down because you're pulling water up with the soles of your feet. And I saw us all slowing down that beat to the didum 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 didum, rather than the feverish, we've got to do it hard because we need
Oh,
this
Jenny,
rain. Trust
I
the
just
power
love
to
that.
channel it.
Can I tell you what I did? This is such a perfect example of how we're all so different. I made myself as big as probably half the United States, and I stood over the storm and I said, "Thou shall not pass." Boom. And then I said, "You will settle down, or I will dissolve you." And I said, "Now that's that." And I said, "I'm out." And see, we all do it different, but I was like, no more hurting the
Oh,
children
when it
right
gets
now.
to that
Yeah,
level,
I was
when it
like
gets
not having it.
right on. Yeah, because when it gets to that level, it needs to be told no, whether you're
That's why I said
manufactured
no.
with no. And that rhythm will really be that boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, I was
the
like, no,
but
no
for us
more.
to encourage them, we can do it, we can measure it. We're actually good enough to do that. We're adept enough to do that. We can measure it. We can measure the power and go from one extreme to the other, but know that we're powerful in all parts of that spectrum. It's just, yeah, I saw the feet just slowing down to channel the weather.
And
Um,
you are literally right, Jenny. You're working with rhythm. And you know what I
mm,
do? I open gateways to bring in new energy to balance it, or I literally force an opposition at it, which breaks pattern. So we're doing it in different ways, and it's so effective. And like I said, I don't think these things could ever manifest to this such a level of power without all of these different perspectives with the same unified goal, but
oh,
they're all,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, cogs
it's
in the clock.
yeah, it's so beautiful. This is the main key is like when we can stop fighting over who's right and who's wrong and understand that every single bit of it is right and wrong at the same
Relevant,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. And as long as we have a purpose, unified goal, it doesn't matter all the different ways we go at it. That makes it bigger because it's more aspects of creation in operation, unified as a field of thought. Man, that's powerful.
So powerful and beautiful how you put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's in the cosmic clock.
Yeah, we're coming together.
It's fascinating. It truly is. As y'all were talking, we bring to the table different elements that are needed in order to accomplish, particularly in the higher realms. Um, I mean, my background, it's ingrained in me now. I mean, if there's an obstacle, you have to speak to it, literally. And then it says, faith without action is dead.
Right.
So you have to move forward, you have to speak to it. And it tells me again that this group, I tell you, We're talking like the Cathars here. We're talking, you know, the trip that I took within, where I finally met my God. My God goddess is what they are. And it is as real to me. And again, they don't want worshipers. They have no need for such. There is no judgment. They are truly what unconditional love is. It's unconditional. There's
Yes.
nothing required.
No.
And the hardest thing that I have found is for us so often to humble ourselves to ourselves. As you were saying, Trina, it's the ego. We
Yes.
all have it, but if the
Mhm.
ego can begin to learn, and it can, that through being humbled, you're actually very strong. You're not weak.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're stronger
Yeah. And then
because
when,
you're more in control of your emotion. And
yes,
that's what activates all of it. So when you can stand and see something shocking or whatever and don't fight or flight, you just look at it and get outside of it, get above it and get bigger, become the observer. Wow, you get powerful.
there's a proverb that says one can put 1,000 to flee, two can put 10,000. And so when we start amplifying this, the three of us, we can put 100,000 to flee. And if I look at everyone in the chat room alone, and then I look at all the views, once you're getting past 3, 4, 500, we're an unstoppable force if we become unified in that. And it's the humbleness of, as you were saying, to serve tea. One of
Yeah.
the things
And
Yeah.
that
serve
we,
each other. And
yeah,
the powers we're working for are to benefit everybody. This
we
isn't
we will get together. I have a sense
yeah.
before this is all said
Oh,
and done, we will get
yeah.
together. And I will actually want to do a foot washing session.
Oh my
Oh,
God, I
You
do that. That's what I do as part-time
you see,
business.
and we didn't even talk about this, but it is the most humbling yet most empowering experience that we can show to one another.
Wayne, I've been doing
no,
foot
this,
detox baths on people for my over 10 years now. It's one of my
yeah.
most primary modalities that I do because
Here we
you can
go.
just see so much come out of the body. It's like get the junk out of the trunk. This is the first step, first layer is
And
getting clean.
that is so true. And it's another synchronicity that I was just speaking to a client about yesterday about what it means to wash someone else's feet.
Wow.
And that, yeah, that's why I was going, wait.
You
And
see,
plus,
there's the affirmation, Jenny. Go ahead, sweetie.
Yes.
I sent out those Muslim bags. I think in the last package I sent you and Trina one that all of my teas go in there and you can throw them in a foot bath or in your bath to make a ritual tea bath. Or like Trina would add one to add to her process that she gifts people with through her work, doing those foot baths herself. She would add those herbs. So again, it's like
Mhm.
that bridge that you were talking about, but the synchronicities of washing the feet, and I was taught to wash my granny's feet, and I loved it. It was the most, I was on my knees. It was the most loving
Yeah.
experience. And I had a lot of loving experiences with Granny. But washing Granny's feet right up to her dying day from me being little. And I only learned that from watching my mum do that because it relaxed her so much. And she was the matriarch. She'd given birth to all, that was under her. And to wash her feet was humbling, and that's the ego too, to be able to accept somebody, to see all of the lines of your soul and receive that love takes a humbling within self because it's a deep, deep shift in love. But to be on your knees and gift that to somebody in the dirty aspects that they might have picked up in their soul that they want to wash away and bear to you, that is powerful and shifting too. And that's when the ego starts to get a bit of a kick out of being humbled, because they feel you start to get your ego starts to get that power instead of feeling the shifting nature of it. It's
It's where
and that
healings will take place.
yeah,
Yeah.
act is
The whole body's in the soul at the bottom of
That's
the
the
foot.
point, the soul. And I'm
Yeah.
reading the comments in the chat room.
It's so
It's
powerful.
amazing how many people are in the same wavelength.
Yes.
yeah.
Foot baths. Well,
And
group, when we get together, that's what we'll do. It is just it's
I'll
a
bring
Bah.
two. I got two machines. I could bring both of them.
I'll bring
we
the
actually
tea.
we just went with a pitcher of warm water and you have a
Wayne,
foot basin.
we're going to pull all the poisons out and then we're going to do the rubbing and the touching and the oils. That's when you introduce the healing essence and the oils, but you want to pull as much of those metals and stuff out of the body first because it's so weird. Every time people do a foot bath, when they get out of the foot bath and they put their feet on the ground, it feels like you have new feet. It's
Yeah.
the
What?
weirdest sensation ever, but you feel like you have brand new feet.
It'll heal you.
It
It
does.
really will. I mean, I don't know if you, when you take a shower or bath, but you should always be massaging, washing the bottom of your feet because it will
Yeah,
stimulate in
everything.
so many ways. And
Mhm.
Greg, thinking to you, brother, out in Colorado, this is, I see this as part of the vision. This, could you, yeah, I mean, this is powerful stuff, folks. I'm sitting here just
Yeah.
blown away. I mean, wow. What a group. I mean,
Mhm.
and everyone else is in on this. Yeah. Who knew? None of us talked
Mhm.
about this. And then now,
No.
yeah,
It's such a powerful way to connect to. It's like when you touch somebody's feet and you're connecting with the water and the frequencies, the vibrations, the herbs, the energies. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like I said, the Jesus, what the whole whatever,
yeah,
but these people, this was their primary
it
modality for
was.
healing.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it was. And what they
They
don't
knew.
understand about Mary and Martha with the fragrance lard that they used, that would be the equivalency today of about $100,000, that ointment that the is described in the story. But there is so much to that in what's
Yes.
taking place because it
Oh,
was reciprocated.
it's so weird
And
when we do this. Jenny's whatever these what something's gonna happen, like a big deal. She's gonna be able to literally spin the oils with her mind. I keep seeing this happen. It's
Give
I
them
believe
crazy.
that. I believe that.
We're gonna watch it
Mm.
Lifetime. We're gonna watch her mix these right in front with her consciousness.
Dragon say Sega says, I've
Amazing.
been healing with touch for decades. Well,
Hmm.
you're in good company here because
Yeah.
there's many of us in as well with yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I've missed, when you leave something like a religion, because you have that unity of people. And as I look back now, it wasn't the religion that brought us together in these foot bath sessions. It was just it was spiritual. And it didn't
Yes.
require a God or a Jesus, but it was so spiritual because it's it's like you can begin you're in your physical body, but you transcend to the soul, the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And it's that deep. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Like
some
you
would
said,
say
Wayne.
magical, some would say powerful.
Right. But it's like you said, you're getting past the ego and you're getting into
Yeah,
soul. And
yeah.
that soul and the spirit connecting is that magical feeling that we get when we're healing and loving each other and supporting each other. It's such a powerful frequency. And that's
We're
it. It's
speaking
not,
that this will come to pass. And I'll tell you,
yeah.
those who will participate in that, you'll be forever,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I think the whole
bound.
religion thing, where it's so many people, we're trying to get through that because it divides people.
Yeah,
It's like the thing is we're just coming together just to love each other, and
that's it.
however that goes, it goes, and we're just gonna do the best we can to produce the highest potentials for any and all involved.
And something else about something like a foot bath, it requires a humbleness on because there are a lot of people who don't like to be touched. And so
Yes.
you have to bring those barriers down in order for the individual. And that is a sense of being humbled. allowing a stranger or person who you do not know, and the foot is so sensitive.
Yes.
That's why the Far East cultures forbidded you ever taking a picture of a foot, particularly a woman's foot. It was considered highly sexualized. The foot was the moment there. It's the whole yin and yang thing. It's quite intense.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm
There's
totally blown
lots.
away. I'm sitting here just in awe of all this.
Yeah.
Love
It's
the power of
powerful.
water and the power of
Yeah,
touch and the
yeah.
power of having the whole map of the body in your hands.
The
It's a
oil
beautiful
aspect too,
thing.
when I went into the ministry, they anointed my head with oil, but when you anoint the feet with oil, you're anointing the soul.
Oh,
After I clean their bodies, and then after I get all the stuff out, I rinse their feet with warm water. And then after that, I put 5 drops of, it's called armor, and it's an essential oil. And I armor
There
the
you go.
bottoms of their feet to seal them in divine protection and healing. And
You're
it's the
anointing
ending
the
of the
soul.
modality. Yeah, I
The
put them with
head is the
armor.
chakra of the crown, of the
Yeah.
corona,
Yep.
but when you anoint the feet, you're anointing the soul.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is
The
so
hour
true.
is on, ladies. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm blown
It's
away.
amazing.
Powerful
It's
show.
so fast.
It is.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, tomorrow I have Ryder on. Be sure to check out his channel. And if you got Amazon Prime, A Clockwise Shining, I got to see the trailer. I haven't actually watched the movie, but I'm really looking forward to it. Ryder is, hear me out on this, folks. Ryder Lee will become one of the more well-known and respected filmmakers, and just trust me on this.
I
I
know
don't
that
even
to
think
be
heavy.
he
true.
realizes that yet.
Wayne, you're absolutely right. And I hope he does realize that that is true. That is true. I see that too. I've seen it for a long time since he did the first one with
With
the
Jay on the
yeah,
JFK.
the
Yeah.
JFK. Yep, that
Yeah.
was when
And
when
there
he did
and that
that, I was
has
like, "Oh, you're on your way, Ryder. You're
and
on your
there
way."
have been a number of spin-offs from that others have done that. So
I saw
we'll
that.
we'll be saying here as a group, folks, that we knew Ryder win. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Yep.
When people become famous for like bringing forward, is it cinematography or
Mm,
ideography? Like when they can bring forward a shot that nobody's thought of before, so like I keep seeing like a wine glass,
yeah.
the shape of the way, but that would be totally generic. But he's going to be able to learn a different way of capturing video or a point of view that becomes like the first,
Yeah.
like the
Uh-huh.
first
It's
of.
like Hitchcock, and you have, the effect of black and white. When I took film in school, is that you're right, Jenny. There will be a complete genre that will
Like
be
an
birthed
iconic
out of
view.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Well,
right.
we love y'all,
I
and
love you.
we
Mm.
appreciate all of you. Remember, Wayne wins. Seriously, I want y'all
Wayne
to
wins.
seriously just
W.
Wayne
just
wins.
meditate. Yeah. Boy, you see, even that makes it with Wayne wins,
I
you
did
see?
it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, it's
I
there.
saw it. It's
Yeah.
done. I let it go now. It's done. I already saw it, and I saw it I saw it on a paper being signed.
Oh,
I was
It's your
like,
wow.
that.
hat.
See,
You
that's
know,
it,
you
Jenny. Yeah.
have vision. If
Well,
you want to go back
that
to
is sacred gematria right there.
your hat, so when you want to go back to that space or knock on our doors in that space,
Looks like the hat I
you
was wearing.
that's what I'm saying. It's your hat. It's your hat there.
Man,
Yeah.
it's all right. Yeah. Hey, Steve Bogan, good to see you, brother. All right, everyone. Thank y'all.
Mm. Mm.
Ladies,
Well,
love this. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we do know this. We hold within ourselves of what tomorrow will be.
Can
So,
I say one thing too, guys? If things
sure.
start getting crazy or weird or radical, just always remember the fastest way for it to stop is for you to be the peace that surpasses all understanding. It may not even make sense. But if, watching all the potential stuff that can happen around, every time it starts to get powerful in your area or anywhere near you, close your eyes and think about what's happening at that very moment. And if everything in your immediate surroundings is safe, please anchor that feeling as big as you can get it into your local areas. I will be doing this. If I see anything start to get a little unstable, I'm going to be that peace that surpasses all understanding. We want to try to do this together now. It's very important. So thank you for all of your support and your love and your work. Thank you.
Rick will miss you as well, you and Max. Just go forth with confidence, and that's what it is. You just have to have that confidence, no matter what you see. I'm not moved by what I see, what I feel. I'm moved by what I know.
And what I create.
Both of those men should shake the hands of everybody they meet at their hospital visits tomorrow. I think by the shaking of their hand, if they manifest in the mind's eye tonight what the outcome should be, how their body wants to react, should react, how they want their body to react, how they want to feel before, during, and after, and have that inner vision on a vision board in their mind's eye. I feel like they've both got such power to implant that with one handshake on each person that comes into contact about their care, on each bit of machinery. Use your hands, guys, to touch the people that are going to be working on you, that are going to work on the machines, that delivers what you need to have delivered to you. Shake the hands of people, because you're going to tell them what to bring about for you. I can see that clearly.
Yes.
We expect a good report, guys. All right.
A start.
We love everybody. Again, follow Trina's advice. Remain calm. It's all right, no matter what.
We're going to be okay, no matter what.
We can create our own reality, even in the midst of their chaos.
Yes.
So,
and this reality is not the only one that we are currently existing in together. So,
like we used to say as kids, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say about me bounces off me and sticks on you. So there.
Right. Bounce off me and stick to you.
So, there you go. All right, everybody. We love you. We will see y'all again tomorrow for sure. And then next Tuesday, both of you, the beautiful ladies. Thank you, all everyone in this in the chat room. I don't get to call you out by name, but I love you. So she loves you. She loves you. You're loved. That's all it takes.